I thought that this match was a great representation of Jannik Sinner's tremendous success and consistency in the past 12 months. I thought that this match showed you why is he by a significant margin ranked as the #1 tennis player in the world. I thought that today's Sinner was really consistent, and this is the key to Jannik Sinner's success. He's going to always find the good serve after a shit point. He's always going to play a good point after a crap mistake. He's always going to find the serve at 30-30. He's always going to, I mean, not always, but 80% of the time, save the break point. He didn't even have to face a break point today. So in order to beat Jannik Sinner, you have to win those contested points on his serve at 15-15. You have to make ridiculous back-to-back returns. You must put the volleys away because you cannot go down 5-1 in the tiebreak after missing a couple of maybe 6 out of 10 difficulty shots. You simply cannot miss that volley at 5-3 in the first set tiebreak because now you're down 6-3. Sinner has 2 serves, and you simply know that he's going to find at least one good serve. And guess what happened? Novak actually saved the first set point on Sinner's serve, but on the second set point, Sinner found a good serve, and the return was out, and he won the first set. So you simply cannot make those type of mistakes. You have to play A to A+ game in order to beat Jannik Sinner. And Novak today, I thought he was good on backhand. I thought his forehand was decent. He maybe could have played better. I thought his serving was kind of good, but early in the second set, he got into this sort of bad stretch. If you remember, it was 40-0 on his first service game. He started missing some serves. It was actually juice. He won that service game, but in the following game, he was sort of still missing his serves. He wasn't playing good shots, and Sinner broke him. So you cannot have those bad stretches of play if you do not have excellent stretches of play when Jannik Sinner has the odd, maybe missing a couple of first serves type of play. I thought that Sinner's worst service game was probably the first service game in the second set when I think Novak won 2 points, like it wasn't even juice. Maybe he only won 1 point. I'm not really sure. I thought that Sinner was missing a couple of serves. He was kind of ish-ish. He made an unforced error or 2, but Novak couldn't materialize. And that was pretty much it. Sinner didn't give him anything. There was one more spot, I think maybe at 4-3 to Novak in the first set, when it was lot 30, and Sinner hit 4 great serves. Only 1 point was contested, and I think on one other serve, Novak had a chance to return a forehand return, put it in play, but he hit the net. So in order to break Sinner, even from lot 30, you have to win that sort of contested point, and you have to make a really, really good return to at least make him earn it. So you can maybe get in a situation which is like 15-40, 30-40 or something like that, and then pray to God he misses a serve. So this is the key to Jannik Sinner's success. He's just going to be this ridiculously consistent player. I mean, when was the last time Jannik Sinner choked? When was the last time he was up like 5-3 and he just blew it? He just lost the set 7-5 or 7-6. When was the last time he had 40-0 on his serve and he played like 5 consecutive crap points or 4 bad points and his opponent played 1 great? When was the last time he missed a key smash? I mean, I remember that Roland Garros semifinal versus Alcaraz, but besides that, when was the last time he gave anybody anything? And this is the reason why he's, I think, right now 65-6 this year. Because Alcaraz beat him 3 times, but Alcaraz can peak against him. But he doesn't have a single loss versus a guy who's not in the top 20, because those guys cannot really peak that much. They cannot play consecutive, ridiculously high-level points when Jannik is sort of playing his B+ tennis. They just can't. They maybe can play 1 good point or 2 good points, but Jannik Sinner is going to end up in multiple like 30, 40 situations on his service games, and he's just going to serve it out. And then he sort of has this extra gear, which I kind of noticed last year, I think in Turin, which I did not see him having previous to that, when he sort of feels that his opponent is kind of struggling, and no matter which point in the game, he can be down 40-0. I remember him breaking Novak down 40-0, I think, in Turin, and he definitely broke him down 40-0 in Australia in the 4th set. That was the only break in the 4th set. When he kind of felt like the momentum is changing, like his opponent is struggling, he's kind of missing some serve, he's randomly getting nervous, and he has this extra gear when he's just ridiculously good on defense, and he can hit winners from basically full out defending. So I think those are Jannik Sinner's best traits. And I think this is why kind of some fans believe that Alcaraz is still the better player, because when you look at Alcaraz, you see that ridiculous peak that maybe Sinner doesn't possess. You see those ridiculous winners. You see that ridiculous tennis, those volleys, those forehands. And you're like, man, I mean, I think that Carlos Alcaraz is a better player. But if you look at the consistency, Carlos Alcaraz never, I mean, the most points he had was, I think, 7,000, 8,000 something. He never even came close to having 10,000 points. Having 10,000 points is a sign of consistency, because yes, both Sinner and Alcaraz had 2 Grand Slams won this year. But if you take away the slams, Alcaraz has 1 Masters title and 1 ATP 500 and a bunch of like quarterfinals, round 3s, something like that. And he's also not as healthy, not as consistently healthy as Jannik Sinner. Whilst Sinner consistently makes at least the quarterfinal. He had I think he played 14 or 15 tournaments this year. Every single time he made at least the quarterfinals. And this is due to the fact that he does not lose to players outside of the top 20. And then on top of that, he usually makes the semifinal, and he mostly makes the final and actually wins the tournament. So this ridiculous consistency was only matched by the big 3 in the past 20 years. And Andy Murray in like maybe 2016 when he was really on his peak. And this is actually greatness when it comes to Jannik Sinner. Now, how long will it last? I don't know. Personally, as a Novak fan, I thought that Novak looked better than in Australia. I thought in Australia he should have lost in 3 sets, to be honest. That third set was just kind of pure Novak Djokovic aura, Roland Garros, Australian Open aura, that he's just going to come back from that. He's just going to be losing 2-0, 5-0, and then he's just going to save 10 match points and win the match. And I thought that Sinner kind of semi-choked in that third set tiebreak, but then he recovered and easily won the fourth set. This was like competitive. This could have gone Novak's way if he goes out there and plays good volleys and doesn't make the odd mistake here and there. I thought that he had a chance. He could have won the first set, and then of course the flow of the match is completely different. But he did not. Sinner was the more consistent player. He played a couple of great shots. He played a great forehand to break Novak in the second set. And that's pretty much it. Will Novak now play in Paris? Will Novak play in Turin? I'm not sure. He was kind of, 50-50 on it, which is kind of weird. He always does well in Paris and he always does well in Turin. I think he should. I think he has a great chance of winning his 100th title. I think he should take the positives out of this Shanghai trip, because he could have, maybe if a couple of points go the other way, he could have lost to Mickelson in the second round, and then he's like, man, like I just lost to Popperin at US Open, I just lost to Mickelson in Shanghai, like I might just shut down the season. But this way, he's basically qualified for the ATP finals. He should play there. He can beat those guys, and then I think he has a chance versus Sinner. It's not like Sinner is going to absolutely destroy him. If Novak plays an A+ performance, I think he can beat Sinner, and then he can beat Alcaraz too. So I think if I'm Novak, I'm taking the positives out of this tournament. It's kind of a bummer he did not win his 100th title here, but yeah, it was also kind of weird to hear the crowd. The crowd was sort of pro Novak. I don't know if that had any effect of that, but there was no booing, no whistling. The crowd wasn't really involved in it. There wasn't any hooliganism. And the crowd was sort of like 70-30 Novak. And when Sinner served at ace to win the championship, it was like, yeah, it is what it is. So, it was kind of weird to see that, but Novak is beloved in China, so I guess that was sort of expected. Anyways, thank you very much for listening, and see you.